So hello there folks, this is a kind of a small light video about my 50 games policy. So starting from 2020, I did a new gig list on BGG.
This is a kind of a
Oh,
small
I'm
light
sorry.
video.
This this was something unexpected. But anyway, so in this list, and I'm gonna show it right away. This is my policy of 50 games, and at some point I started to think like I have too many games and I don't play them enough, and I want to play my favorite games. So I started to count my collection, and I wanted to have less choices. I wanted to play my older favorite titles, and just enjoy my life as a gamer. That's the whole point. I started this board gaming hobby as a whole for myself. It's like I wanted to have fun, and I didn't have fun anymore because I was buying new games. There were review copies at some point, so I kind of went back on that, and just enjoyed myself. I had some pretty hard times as well when I didn't play enough, and yeah, I just played only a few times, and then even right now, it's not always easy to schedule a board game night with my friends because they're also busy and so on. So yeah, it just happens. I don't know why I didn't have enough time. Maybe I just wanted to concentrate on other things, which is also nice to get away from something and then come back to something with a kind of a doing kind of a fresh start. So, and with this policy I did last year as well, with this policy, I can have a maximum of 50 games in my collection, no more. And if something goes beyond 50, then I need to give something away or sell something in order to get it to 50. Right now, I have less than 50 games, but even then, I'm questioning all the games all the time. If I need that game for that purpose or crowd or my game groups or whatever, do I need the game? So this list is kind of like that, and it's kind of an introduction to my tiny collection. Now it's small. Yeah, it was at some point it was like 200 games, it was always rotating. There's always like games coming in and going out, games coming in and going out. So at some point it went to 200 games at most, and now I have like around 40 games. So which is very nice. So I can I don't have overwhelming choices of games. So anyways, so I want to just talk about the games I have in my collection. Why do I have them, or are some games questionable if I want them in my collection right now or not? So the first one is the Seventh Continent. So it's extremely popular game about exploring stuff, in curses and so on. I love exploring. I love this kind of adventurous things going on in the game, and I like all those escape room games as well, the progression and things. So building up, but mostly like exploration. So I had to buy it, and I also have the expansion. I got this. I got into the second Kickstarter where I got the expansion as well. So, and this game is still unplayed because, as much as I heard, it takes a lot of time to play it in one kind of a session, and you don't want to split it in several smaller sessions. And also, this game is great solo and maybe two players. So, at some point, I need to find just another player to play this game with, and it has quite a few rules, and I just didn't have enough time to get into it. It's like time story scenarios as well. We always played it in one go, and it was hard to kind of find time for them. But eventually we found that time. So yes, it's still unplayed. It's been in my collection for a long time already, but I'm gonna get to it. I'm sure I'm gonna love it. So yeah, I'm hoping for a great experience with Seventh Continent. A4 Quest. Oh, I forgot that I have A4 Quest. Oh, I bought it on Black Friday or recently. Yeah, it was like €5. Yeah, it was something like €5. So I was thinking about like a simple game going into dungeon might be a nice theme for a few folks in my game group, and it should be really easy, quite fast. I don't know. I just wanted to have some kind of a dungeon crawler type light game, very light one. So that's a for Quest. There's not a lot to say about this game. I haven't played it yet, so who knows. Abyss. It's an amazing game. It's a beautiful game. I love it. I love it with the expansions. Without the expansions, it wouldn't be as high on my list. And it's this is not a ranking list, so it's the games are in alphabetical order mostly. So just through the main here, but Abyss is very high in my rankings and. With the expansions, it's amazing. You have the Leviathan expansion, which expands the monster hunting thing, and yeah, it's just much better with the expansions. And the beauty of the game is great, and I love the set collection here. I'm not always keen on set collection games, but in this one, it has the push your luck with the set collection, and then you exchange things into other things, and then into other things. It kind of has kind of a lighter progression, like a chain reaction you're doing each game, which is really cool. Sometimes it runs a little bit too long. I like it with 3, maximum 4 players. Never play with 5. Just don't play it. 3 is really good. It's really good, and 4 might be better with like for the auction and currency moving each round. But on the other hand, 4 is a little bit of a slugfest when like you turn over the card, you have to offer it to everyone, and turn on the other card, have to offer it to everyone. That's the thing. So with 3 players, it's the best in my opinion, but also works with 4, and I love Abyss. So Anachrony. So Anachrony is probably my favorite heavy hero. I think like it depends what you call heavy hero. It's like brain burning hero, like heavy. That's the stuff I'm talking about. So Anachrony is my favorite so far because it has rather light approach to the heavy stuff going on there. It's you have those mechs, you have those workers, you need to give them water in order to make them work, and you're building buildings there, and you are taking resources, and then you need to go to the past to put the resources back in their places, so you will not get paradox, but the paradox that you'll get will go instead of your buildings, so you cannot build enough buildings there, and so you cannot get enough combos and points and whatever else. But I like the simplicity of the central boards. Go here, take that. Go here, take that. A worker placement game. In its core, it's really nice, easy worker placement stuff going on there, and I like it. Like here, you can go without the mechs. You can go with the mechs. Some buildings give you an extra spot. And the management of resources is not as harsh as with some other games, and the theme is great, and the components and the art is great. It just works in every aspect of this game. So Anachrony is great. Brass Birmingham, as you can see, I put it as a questionable. So I played this one once, and I really enjoyed this one. It was a great experience, but extremely tiring. And that's where I sometimes draw the line. So even if the game is good, if it's hard for me to convince myself to play it again because it was so brain burning, and like it just takes a toll on me. It's like a little bit like a work. Then I don't really want to play that game. And with Brass, I kind of felt it for the first time. I want to play it again and see if that happens in my second play. If that happens again, then Brass might not be for me, even though it's a great game. You are kind of building those routes. You are building those different buildings so the other can get the resources off your buildings and so on. And I have the Birmingham where it has those gears and so on, so which adds some extra. I like building up. I like having those chains. I like to kind of boost my economy so it become better and better each turn. But this one kind of feels a little bit harsh in my brain. So I'm not sure about Brass Birmingham right now. So Chronicles of Crime, amazing game. Yeah, VR experience is great, but also the deduction part of that, and everything is on the phone. I like that because there's not much micromanaging manually on the board itself, on the table, but rather a lot of information is in the phone, and you are just concentrating on the deduction, on the story, and that's where the game shines. The story, the deduction elements, and discussing with each other. I really like this cooperative game. It's great, and the VR nature kind of gives some extras. So that's some like a gimmicky stuff, but still really really good. I like that a lot. So yeah, I played quite a few scenarios, most of the scenarios of the base game. I think I had like one scenario left or two. I have some extras as well from Kickstarter. So yeah, and then I played the Red View. Welcome to Red View scenario. I haven't played Noir, but Welcome to Red View kind of reminded me of Stranger Things kind of a vibe. So I wanted to try it. So I enjoyed my first play of the Red View expansion. It has this different vibe, a little bit of that RPG vibe where you have dice, you roll the dice, like skill checks and so on. Kind of fits the theme, and it works. It works with Chronicles of Crime. It's just a great system that works well. So that's Chronicles of Crime. Love it. Cyclades, my favorite game of all time. Maybe, we don't know. I haven't done my new top 10, but it's been there for many years, and I still love this game. I don't think I want to get rid of this game, even if I'm gonna get tired of this game. And don't get me wrong, even if the game is in my higher rankings, even if this game is 1 or 2 or 3, my top 3, it can go away, because at some point I might get tired of it. It's like, yes, my favorite tea is Earl Grey, let's say, yeah. But at some point, I really started loving rooibos or something like that, and I drank Earl Grey too much, so I don't want to drink it anymore. But maybe in a few years I will come back to it. With Cyclades, at some point I feel like I might just leave it on my shelf for the time being, and then come back to it, and then maybe try Titans again, which I didn't like, but maybe now the Titans will work for me as a fresher start. But it's still a great game. You are on this map of archipelago things going on, and you're bidding on the gods, so they give you powers to build ships or march your armies or build those different temples and get monsters that you control for only one round. I like that, because you don't have that really cool power for the entirety of the game, but you have it for that one turn, and then the monster goes away. You need to get another monster. I like that. I like that you are not overpowered suddenly because you were lucky to get a certain monster. So Cycle D is a great game. D-Day Dice, second edition. I played the first edition, and I really liked D-Day Dice, but I kind of felt like it wasn't enough at that time. I didn't play that many co-ops as well. There were other co-ops that kind of fired this one, but then I thought, like, when it came back to Kickstarter, I thought like, I think I want to get it back. I think I might enjoy it more right now, especially if I have only a few co-ops in my collection, and I'm keen on playing the co-ops right now, because there's quite a few folks in my game group that like this kind of things, and the theme, World War theme, kind of will probably attract a few of folks from my board game buddies. And yeah, I just hope it will be a really cool experience as a new edition with some twists that they added, which will probably make the game even better. So it's still in play. We're gonna see. Dice Stars, my favorite roll and write game, although I haven't played all the new plethora of those roll and write or flip and write or whatever those games are. But this one is very simple. I take it with me. I just take it out. You have numbers and colors. You just fill out the columns in order to get the most points. Then you get the stars. A little bit of push your log. If you get enough stars, you can double your points or not. So you get 0 points and so on. So it's really, really cool. I like that a lot. So Dice Stars is a really, really cool game. Now we go to Downfall, which I sold already, so I'm not going to talk about that much. Downfall, a 4X game that failed in many, many ways. Empires of the Void is also like a 4X game with a space theme. Ryan Locket's, I think, magnum opus, next to Near and Far. I think this one is a bit better one. It has quite a few aspects of Near and Far, not the book itself, the storybook, but it has the stories going on, and this pick up and deliver. You're building yourself up, the engine, you have the board, you are expanding yourself, thus expanding the economy of your board as well, which is really, really cool. I want to play it again. I want to evaluate it even better. So I'm sure I'm going to get to it, but it has heavy rules. It has a heavy gameplay, and it will probably take time to get it to the table and eventually to play it as well as a playtime. So Aeon Sand, and this one says questionable, but eventually I decided to sell Aeon Sand. So I played Aeon Sand a few times and I had fun. But kind of maybe it's the generic art and kind of a generic fantasy theme that doesn't catch me that much. I like the cop nature of the game, where you are constantly trying to beat the baddie or deplete the deck of the baddie, whatever floats your boat. So, and then you try to survive, or you need to defend your, it wasn't not graveyard, but whatever the city you are also defending. You want to do all of that at the same time, preparing the spells and buying new cards from the center. It was nice, but it was more like a classic deck builder, and it just didn't catch me. So I might just buy Clank Legacy and play that with people who really like deck building. So Empire's Age of Discovery, a great worker placement game, my favorite one, and it has the really strong uh, area control going on, and also it has different workers. I like that. It has merchants, it has priests, it has soldiers, it has captains, and they do all the different things. Merchants give you money. Captains are better in exploring. Soldiers will go at war, and so on. It has a little bit of take that in this game, but you are building yourself up with those buildings, with the goods, which is like a set collection, but it is also an economy at points in the end of the game, and area control stuff where the majority will give you the most points. So you're trying to get to the most points. But it's a great mixture. I have this deluxe version, the Empire State of Discovery, not the older version, and I have all the expansions, and it just feels really, really cool. I like Empire State of Discovery. Then one of the spots is a family of games. So basically, it's escape room games. I played Unlock, Exit, Escape Room, Escape from the Game, or Exit the Game, the Escape, and so on. So all of these escape room games are basically one and done. That's where I think like they should be just like one entry, because I cannot really differentiate them. There are some exit scenarios that are great, some unlock scenarios that are great, some are bad, and so on. So let it be. But I do love the exploration. I do love solving the puzzle within the escape room nature of the game. So that's great. Love it. It's really cool. Escape room games are great. First Class. First Class is a card-based deck, not deck building, sorry, engine building game and blow building. So you are grabbing those cards from the center, which are actions, and some of them are resources. And you can say that all of them are resources, but some of them expand your train, so you can get more points, and expand your train to be longer, so you can put more stuff in. And then you expand yourself on the rail side of the board as well, thus getting those different bonuses. And it's all about micromanaging your own kind of a train through the central mechanism of getting those actions and getting through those different phases, so 1, 2, and first, second, and third phase. This game has a lot of different modules with the expansions, with the F and G modules as well, which you can mix and match with each other and have different games each time, though the core of the game is the same, but eventually you still have many different experiences with the game. So I do really like First Class. It's a perfect midweight pointality engine building game. The Flow History is one of my favorites, or I think probably my favorite civilization game. It's card-based, so I do really love card games, and I love how card games become something more than just card games. They become board games. In this game, you have those bigger cards where you bid on this technology and whatever the I don't remember if it's technology and all the leader cards, the wonder cards. You beat on all those different cards. Somebody can outbeat you, but you get your money back, and so on. And there's the central pile of money that distributes, and there's the kind of a separate reserve pile of money going on. So there's a tight resource management going on in this game. I really like that. It's really, really cool, in my opinion. I do enjoy the kind of the nature of set collection within like those different kind of not the genres, the different themes of the cards. I don't remember the words in English. What I wanted to say, those the cards are different. Basically, there are different piles of cards. So if I get a warfare card, if I get a new warfare card, I have to put it on top of my previous one, thus not getting the previous card's power and getting the new card's power, and so on. So I have to evaluate my choices, evaluate my options, and so on. But they still retain the icons. So you are getting more and more and more icons that you can do stuff with, but you always have at most like 5 different abilities going on each turn, not just a plethora of them, which is really cool. So in order to get a new card of the same types, you have to abandon a previous ability of the same type of card. So Fluff History, great game. Homesteaders, probably my favorite engine building game, is a pure engine building game, because it has a little bit of auctioning going on, but the auction is all about what type of building you can get or where you can progress on this rail as well. And it's not so bad to progress on the rail. It also has the expansion, the new beginning, which gives you the events as well, some extra stuff, which adds to the game and kind of brings life to the game and brings more variety to the game as well. I really, really like all of that. In Homesteaders, so you put all those different buildings down, and they correlate to each other, and they work with each other, and you are trying to get more resources, and you trying to kind of trade the cheaper resources into more expensive resources, so you can get more expensive buildings, and the buildings evolve eventually each phase and so on. So it's strictly 10 rounds. You do a small auction, and it has a little bit of worker placement going on when you put your workers in different spots, so they can give you some extra income. Just collect income, trying to build better buildings, and trying to get this kind of a small engine working. So each time you have enough money to pay your workers, but you also have enough workers, so you can get all the spots done, so you can get enough income in order to buy enough buildings or bid for a good place on the board. So that's great. I love Homesteaders. It's an amazing game. Insider is probably my favorite party game. And this one, it's like a werewolf type or mafia type, where you close your eyes and things, but you close your eyes only for a moment. So there's the master who looks at the word, and then the insider who looks at the word. The insider is the kind of a hidden role. Nobody knows who's insider. Insider tries to help all the others to guess the word. So this is a word game. The master knows the word, so the master can answer yes or no, and all the others will just start kind of throwing questions at the master, trying to guess the word. And Insider tries to help them without kind of being noticed. So because Insider knows the words, but trying to blend into the crowd, that's giving out smart questions and so on, but kind of leading the crowd towards the right answer, because if you don't get the right answer, everybody loses. And then there's the voting part, and you vote and you see if you can catch the insider. If you will not catch the insider, insider will win. If you catch the insider, insider will lose, everybody else will win. Very easy. You can play it many times in a row. I just love the nature of this game, kind of a simplicity, and the word guessing is always kind of a little bit stressful. Some people, it's hard to be insider for some people, but it's not always hard. So that's Insider. Then we get Inuit the Snowfolk. Inuit the Snowfolk, it's a new game I just bought. I play with my girlfriend, and I think that this is a very nice touch on the kind of a tableau building, where you get the cards in order to put them out. Like there are those people, and you can put those people in any row, or sorry, column, in order to make that certain action better each round, so you can grab more cards. So basically it's like a set collection. You're trying to get the most points. You're doing the set collection, but with the set collection you're also trying to strengthen the spots on the board, so you can do those actions even better and better. And sometimes it's it's a really cool choice whether you want to get this or that. And there are also points. So at some point I want to get those people, but if I get them, they give me minus points because they are not in my color, in my village's color, so they don't really fit into my village. But I really need them to strengthen the that and that action, you know. So it's really cool part of the game where you can get negative points, or you can give the points to your opponent by getting a card that they need. They still score the points. It's usually, or they will grab it anyway if you won't grab it. So that's a small thing. But I like this kind of a tableau building and set collection as a thinky one. So this, you know, the Snowfolk is a nice touch on a kind of an easy card game. I like that. We go to Ishtar. So Ishtar, I really liked Ishtar's puzzling nature, and putting those flower beds out, putting those gardeners out. But the problem Ishtar has is that it's kind of it's very easy. It works for quite a few people. I really like this game, but it's kind of samey. Each game, it's kind of it doesn't evolve too much. It evolves within the box it's put in. You know, it's everybody has this kind of a tableau in front of them where they can use the gems in order to become better. So you put those two gems here, so you can get this kind of special ability, and then you can put gems on the top row in order to get more points at the end of the game. So the end game scoring things. But everyone has the same things, and you have the same thing. You have everything open to you at the beginning of each game, and everybody has the same. So I would love to have kind of a different abilities or more options and so on. So basically, I sold Ishtar because I really like it. It fits the spot of an easier puzzle game, a beautiful game in my collection, but lacks the variability and kind of a more robust nature of those special abilities. So that's Ishtar, Gardens of Babylon, and then we go to Lift Off. So I put this questionable, but I'm gonna leave it in my collection because my girlfriend really likes this one, and I really like this one as well. I just wasn't sure about this one until I thought through. So Lift Off is a new game from Hansem Gluck and basically Zeman Games, and I really like the art. I really like the theme of the game. You're building the rocket, and you basically sending them the rockets with the space mission, so you can get the more points. It's kind of a small engine building, very tight one, because you need to do that and that and that in order to get to that phase of the game, and then send those missions. You need to kind of constantly upgrade yourself in order to keep up in this game. And I really like that nature. There are some random elements in the game, some card drawing that can ruin the game just a tiny bit sometimes, but mostly I still really like the game. I really like the engine building stuff going on in it, and a little bit of that set collection also with the technology cards. Lift Off, Living Planet. My answer to selling Archipelago, I sold Archipelago. I really loved Archipelago because it was beautiful as well. But Living Planet is also beautiful, and Living Planet is from the same designer. And Living Planet, for me at least, I saw that this is kind of a Archipelago next level or something like that, a different Archipelago. And I was like, I think Living Planet will be a nice fit for me, and it will replace Archipelago. But I didn't play at that time. I only saw this one in Essen a few years ago and so on. But I'm hoping that it will replace Archipelago. I'm hoping that it will be a great game because I waited for this game for a long time, and now I really want to play it. I'm gonna play it soon. I just recently got this one, so it's still unplayed, but I have this all-in package as well with all these expansions. Looks really cool, sounds great. We're gonna see. The Lost Expedition, my favorite cooperative game, probably. I think it is. It's a card game, very easy, puzzly, works with all different kinds of players. Those who aren't into board games that much, those who are gamers, and so on. It works with everyone because it has a very simple mechanism of just put the cards down in that order and then at night in the other order and try to survive. Go through the jungle and lay down those cards and kind of lay them down in such an order that you will benefit from that the most, or you will like get less hurt than you usually get. So I really like the cool big cards and nice art. I didn't like art at the first time, and then I kind of it grew. I think my love for this art grew, so that was really cool. I like Lost Expedition. That's a great lightish co-op game that you can make a little bit more difficult with the expansion, and the expansion adds quite a few modules, small modules. That's the thing. It doesn't make it over complicated. You can add those modules or take them out and so on. So whatever you choose, but the expansion adds quite a few really nice touches and elements to the game to make it even better. So the Lost Expedition, great game. Magna Storm, which is questionable for me, but it's not questionable for my girlfriend. She likes it. For me, it's a little bit too dry. You are putting stuff out. You are doing this in order to do that, in order to do that. So I'm basically moving the worker from the upper part to the lower part, and then I'm moving my sculptor, and then I'm building the lab on this spot because it's a green spot, so I can move a tracker in the green laboratory by 1, so I can get the special ability, and I can get a few more cubes, and I get cubes from here and cubes from there. It's very dry game. It's a smart game. It's not that heavy of a game itself, but it's really dry. The only good part, for example, I played Viticulture for the first time recently. Viticulture has this kind of a nature of kind of a card draw. It's also like Viticulture is very long game, at least for me, and it takes a long time for it to develop an engine. This one kind of develops a little bit faster in a bit more dryish way, but it doesn't have that luck of drawing cards and so on. So yeah, my girlfriend really likes this one, so I'm gonna leave it in collection for now. The Mines. I just bought it on a whim. I played with a person who really likes simple card games. He loved it, and we played through. We won the game, and after winning the game, I felt like maybe I'm done with the game, or maybe I'll leave it for now and come back to it. Maybe I'll play it with the folks who want to play just a very simple card game, not really get their head into the rules, but just play, play something, do an activity. So this is more like an activity than a game, in my opinion. But it was fun. It was fun playing it. It was fun going through it and beating the game. But I'm not sure it will be there for long in my collection. So the Mind, just playing numbers in the right order. So let's go to the next page. And the next page has Mission Red Planet, which is, yes, it says near and dear to my heart. Very simple area majority game. The most folks give you those points, and those different lands that generate different amount of points, and those like crystals and things, which are basically points. But the center of the game are the roll cards. So you put the roll cards the same time, roll selection, simultaneous action selection, and then you reveal them in numerical order from 9 to 1. So number 1 cards are like cards that are lower numbers might be more powerful, more strict, but on the other hand, they are lower numbers, so they will activate later than the higher numbers. So, but the higher numbers are sometimes also really good, situationally good, okay, occasionally good. So, I really like the outguessing, outsmarting in games, and this one does it on a very easy, very fast level, and it just works really, really great. When you reveal the card, you did that. Oh, I thought you do that. You did that, or like, oh, I really wanted to put another card because I thought you'd do that, but then I thought like you do something else, and then I put this card instead, and like it creates those moments. It creates laughs, and it creates just great moments. I love this game. That's Mission Red Planet. Mysterium, which is questionable here because of one other game that recently came out, but I'm gonna say I'm selling Mysterium, and I love Mysterium. Mysterium has given me many great hours of play and many great moments, and it worked well with many folks. It just worked. But I got another game which is later on this list that I thought like, do I need one and another one? So I played that other game, and then I played Mysterium back to back, and then I realized that I feel like Mysterium is a little bit too slow of a game, because I have a faster game that gives me more tension, more the same vibe, but more tension, and in other small mechanics. We're going to talk about that. So Mysterium, bye bye. Near and Far, which I played again recently with two non-gamers. One of them is my girlfriend, who is getting into games already and playing some, heavier games, but still having a little bit difficulty, grasping all of the stuff. So Near and Far is a very gamer game. With the storybook, she didn't have a chance to kind of experience the story, so she didn't like the game, as she said. But she wants to try it again and try another map, because it was the first adventure. I told her that it's just introduction, so we need to try it again in order to see if you will like the game. Maybe she will like the game much more the next time. But it is elegant. It has really cool worker placement spots as well. And I also want to include, I have the Amber Mines expansion. I want to include those modules as well, because they will make some spots of the central board even better. And just roaming around, building those camps is really easy. Getting the most points. I just really like collecting stuff and then going on adventure. That's a cool thing going on there. So Near and Far, great game. Nemesis. I think. Let me think. I cannot say if it is like okay, I'm gonna say it. The Lost Expedition is my favorite card game. Let's say Nemesis might be my favorite cooperative game overall, because now Nemesis is a competitive game where you are all on this abandoned ship, and you have each of you has their own goals, and they can be a little bit of traitory goals, and you have those aliens crawling up on you and chewing on you, and the ship which is have destroyed and need to repair the ship and so on. It's very thematic. It's like Alien the movie. It's great. And I love the experience. It's very immersive. This game creates stories, and I think I really like to play it as a full co-op game, because it's so difficult, and as a cooperative game, I don't feel that alone. I feel like we might have a chance together as a group. Let's work together. And the other part is that if somebody gets eliminated, they're out of the game. In cooperative modes, you can bring other people back to life. And I tried to do that at some point, and we managed a few times, but a few times I had to leave my buddies behind because the aliens were surrounding me. I had to do something. So and it created another story. So Nemesis is a great game about aliens. Obscurio, that's the one that replaced Mysterium for me. It's kind of like Mysterium, also guessing based on the picture, but much faster, has a time limit, the sand timer going on there, and the traitor, very easy traitor. I mean, like very engaging traitor, where you don't feel like if somebody finds out that you're a traitor, then you're done. It's not always like that. They found out that I was a traitor, but I still won the game. So it wasn't like very harsh to be a traitor. So this game works really well. You are trying to get out of this library, and you're trying to guess the right door through those different things. And but the cool part is those traps that you take out, and those traps mess with the guessing, mess with the overall rules of the game, which adds. So Obscuria, a great game. And I really want to have the expansions, more expansions, so I can have more cards. Pipeline, still unplayed, economic game, very dry theme. Looks okay. It doesn't look amazing, but I really want to play Pipeline. I don't have much to say about this one. Economic Hero. I hope it's a great game. Port Royal. This one has a limited staying power because it has a limited amount of cards. They're kind of all the same, and you want to get to a certain amount of points. That's it. I don't really like the race to the points. I like to play with few folks who really like simple card games, and was nice. But I should get the expansions, but it's hard to get expansions, or just sell it because it just doesn't entirely work for me. In a way that each time I play it, I enjoy it less and less and less, it seems. So I don't know. Port Royal. Red 7, the one I played a ton. Everybody wants to play Red 7 with me because it is a great game. It's a great filler with few components and multi-use of cards, rules, colors, numbers, and it just works. Great filler, Red 7. Rising Sun, I want to play it again. It's hard to me. I really like my experience with Rising Sun, but it's a bit longer. It's bigger. It's epic. But I'm sure I just haven't gotten to it yet. But I will get to it. I know a few folks who really want to try and play Rising Sun with me. So we're gonna get to it, and we're gonna. Oof, yes, I like Blood Rage, and here as well, you get those different cards, you get those monsters, and I like the idea that not all of those lands score regions. So, and it depends what regions score, and it's kind of a before the combat, you have this kind of a special phase where you are bidding those different coins on those different war phases. I don't remember what things there were, but basically you're bidding on them in order to get advantage in the battle, and that's a really cool way. Instead of like in Blood Rage, you just put out the cards and just reveal them and see what happens. So this one is more complicated in that matter, but makes it of a better game. And I really like choosing those tiles, those actions. So really cool. Santorini, one of the best, is not the best two-player game I played. It's just amazing. It's extremely simple in rules. Move, build, and you add those gods that give you special abilities, and they're very different, and they mess with each other. Your opponent's ability and yours ability, they mess with each other so much, and you're trying to strategize. It's like a fast chess or something like that, and it's beautiful as well. Santorini, a great two-player game. And then we have Scythe. Scythe is an amazing, with the expansion Rise of Fenris, it's an amazing engine building game, building up on a map, getting resources, getting the stuff out from your own player board so you can do things even better and better and better. This is a great engine building, especially with the last expansion and all the modules it gives. You have to mix those modules in, and then you will experience a great game with those mech modes and the industry modes and so on, and variable end game conditions and different numbers of stars and things. So just mind blowing. Scythe is great with the expansions. One of the best games out there. Stockpile, a great mid to lightweight game where you are trying to outguess, outsmart. You are guessing which stocks will go up, which stocks will go down. the theme doesn't sound that interesting, but it's so fun. You're bidding on those cards, you're getting those cards. Some are face down. Sometimes you get good cards, sometimes bad cards. It creates lots of laughs. It creates a ton of fun within the game itself. It's amazing. It works with people. So Stockpile. Tapestry, a little bit of disappointment for me because I was waiting for Tapestry, but yeah, it's dry on a theme. Let it be. It's strong on the mechanisms. It's strong on that. It's strong on getting the stuff like progress and so on those different tracks and get those bonuses. I like that, and getting things off your own personal board and getting those smaller things on your board so you can fill it up. The filling up is whatever, and the central kind of a majority, not majority, but you're trying to control those areas. That's also fine. It works. It works as a mechanism. But as I told you, the game is fun for 70% of the game, and then the 30% is this luck of the draw and sometimes luck of something else. I don't know. It just doesn't work. Not all Tapestry cards are good. Some are very situational, and not all civilizations are great. I mean, like some civilizations are great with other civilizations, so it's a bit situational as well. But for example, I got to the end of one of the tracks, and then I drew another civilization, which I was like, I got to the end of the track. I really managed to do it. I did a great job. And then I drew a civilization, and it gave me nothing. I was extremely frustrated. So I had to go. I had to do a ton of job to get to the end of that track to get nothing. That was just so frustrating. And that's what Tapestry is. I think every civilization needs to have kind of if you draw it later in the game, it should have some really cool powers, something like that. It should be an action that is an amazing action that you get. And all of this should be. But I feel like some tracks, some progressions are better than the others, where it becomes unbalanced because everybody then focuses on the same thing. And even with my civilization, I saw people focusing on exploration all the time, heavily on exploration, because it gives more resources. That's the thing. So Tapestry, it will stay in my collection because my girlfriend loves this game. But yeah, it needs some fixing. Treasure Island, it doesn't say unplayed, but I haven't played this game, and I played the prototype a few years ago, and I really like this one. One plays the prisoner, and the others are searching for the gold, the treasure chest, and you have the drivers and markers that you draw the circles in. It's like things, and looks really cool. I want to play the final version. I don't know what to think about this game right now. As I played it a few years ago, the prototype itself. So I'm hoping for a great game. Underwater Cities is also an amazing Euro game on a heavier side. So you have your Euro, you have your cards going on, the engine building as well. This is a really nice engine building. You build more and more and more. You put down more and more cards to give you some special abilities or extra resources or actions that you can take on the action spot of the main board. So you try to match your worker spot color with the cards color, so you can create a combination. You're just searching for those combinations, and you're also building the cities with the buildings and the tunnels and things. So it has everything that I like. Building up, engine building with the cards, tableau building basically, and then doing the combos with the worker placement and cards. So you do some small combos. I just love it. Onwards is great. I want to get the expansion. Valley of the Kings, I got the new version. I sold my old Valley of the Kings at some point, and then I realized that I really want this deck building game back. So I got the Valley of the Kings, the premium edition, which is a big box with bigger cards, better cards in my opinion, and all the expansions, and you can mix and match, and those special abilities of pharaohs as well. So very nice touch in the game. So I like that. Valley of the Kings back in my collection, and I feel like I shouldn't get rid of it like I did last time. Vault, which it's cool. It's like Robo Rally, but faster. But I decided to get rid of this game. It doesn't say here, but I decided to do that because I thought like I have quite a few easier games, and my girlfriend doesn't really want to play the game about the robots. And I felt like it was fun, but I feel like it won't be fun for a long time. The parts that I might not like, or you need to get to those, like it. It's cool that you are moving your robot on those points and then collecting them, but I would have loved to have kind of if it's battle arena, then we just are robots who are battling each other and pushing each other and so on, and doing more of that and less of that point collecting thing and getting points from something else, from destroying robots, for example, that you do as well, but not this dry point collecting thing going on. So, but Volt is a great game. I recommend it definitely. It just didn't fit my collection entirely. And Wingspan. Wingspan is, I don't know, it's a perfect light to mid engine building game. This is the first game that my girlfriend said, "Oh, let's buy this one." I don't think it's the first game she played. Maybe it was the first game. Maybe it was the first kind of a gamery game that she played. I think she played Mysterio or something, or Insider before, but it's like party games and easy games, party-ish games. But Wingspan was a game, and she really liked this one. It has really cool theme, different theme. It has really cool art. The engine building with the cards, it's not really hard to understand this one. You get the resources, you use the resources to play the cards, and you play them, and then you activate those different rows in order to activate the birds as well. It has some things going on. It wouldn't be for everyone, for every new folk getting into gaming, because it's a little bit hard, but you can guide people through. It's not that hard. So Wingspan works really well with many people. As you can see, it's very popular. It's not an amazing game. I don't love it, but I really like it. And I think Wingspan is the game that the more you play it, the more you appreciate it. So that's that. So this is my collection. So it's less than 50 games right now, but I might buy more and more games. We'll see what happens. So far it's 43 minus few that I got rid of. Right now, there will be a few games coming from Kickstarter still, and maybe a few games that I'll buy more. Filling the spots in my different spots in my collection, different kind of genres in my collection, so I can have a game for every possible situation. So, Wingspan, great game, and I don't know, a great collection or something. So, anyway, thank you for watching, and we see you another time. Bye bye.